Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and this is a Pick a Pile tarot reading once again. But this time, I'm going to be tapping into the energies of the Virgo full moon, which is going to be occurring on Friday, March 14th, 2025. As some of you may already know, full moons are all about the energy of release, of letting go, and of reflecting on our emotions and our inner life. This particular full moon that is occurring on Friday, March 14th is a Virgo moon. And Virgo actually amplifies our fear of mistakes and patterns of self-criticism that keep souls playing small. The full moon supports this release, helping you to access higher vibrations of Virgo while shedding its shadow side. Virgo also embodies the energy of goddess, complete and perfect within herself. Now, this particular Virgo full moon will also have a full lunar eclipse. And spiritually speaking, the lunar eclipse is definitely a time for emotional release and deep self-reflection. While solar and lunar eclipses are known for their cosmic effects, the lunar eclipse is further amplified, bringing moments of emotional release and deep reflection. During this eclipse, losses, breakups, and sudden changes are possible, as its energy often breaks previous beliefs and alters them dramatically. There is a major spiritual significance of lunar eclipses. So lunar eclipses are viewed in astrology as being deeply transformative times that can bring abrupt and sudden emotional change. And in astrology, the spiritual aspects of the moon represent our deep emotional tides. Astrologists believe that an eclipse is a life-changing time to seek change and usher in evolution. During a lunar eclipse, your emotions and subconscious patterns will be revealed when the moon is covered by the Earth's shadow. So this upcoming full moon and total lunar eclipse could be a very important time in your life for ushering in change and for releasing emotions and beliefs and all of the things, people, places, and things that are no longer serving us in our life. If you are avoiding these changes, you will likely have some type of tower moment, because spiritually speaking, the energies are really trying to get you to change something that needs to be changed in your life. And whenever we ignore those energies, that is when a possible tower moment can come up for us, where the universe forces those changes upon us rather than letting us make that conscious decision for change. So it's best at this time to just self-reflect, to really feel your emotions about things, and to truly understand why it is that you are doing the things that you do right now. And it's time to let go of all the things that are no longer serving you, because your spirit wants you to move forward in alignment with the higher vibrations. All right, so now that that's all out of the way and we've explained the energies upcoming, go ahead and take a look at these 3 pre-shuffled piles of cards from the Moonology deck. This is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. So just choose a pile now, and I will be sure to put timestamps in the description box of this video so that you can go directly to your reading. Otherwise, you can watch all 3 readings and just take whatever parts of the reading that resonate with you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello to all of you who chose pile number 1. So we're just going to start with the pre-shuffled Moonology cards that I have laid out here for you. And so the first card that came up for pile number 1 is that it's time to release negativity. And with this being full moon in Scorpio, showing a scorpion on this full moon, this is going to be a time for you to release ways that negativity has been affecting you. And I'm also getting this vibe that it's like something that you're doing to yourself, okay? So it's time to release this negative self-talk, time to release the self-criticisms that are leading to more negativity in your life. The second card we have here is Surrender to the Divine. And this is just a full moon card. So definitely a time to release that, with it being a full moon, of course. Actually, all of your Moonology cards came out as full moons, by the way. But this particular one asks you to surrender to the divine. So as you release negativity, this can be in the form of negative thoughts and attitudes, negative emotions that you have, negative criticisms for yourself and others, but that can also be negativity in your actual outer life that needs to be released as well. People, places, or things that are simply no longer serving you, okay? So you're being asked by divine to surrender those things, but also to basically surrender your lower self in honor of putting your attention on your spirit. And finally, we have balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. So this card is saying, basically, as you release that negativity from your inner and outer life, and as you surrender to the divine through prayer, meditation, reflection, journaling, however you do that, this is going to help you to bring balance back into your outer life. Because a really truly balanced life is one that is considering spirit as well as the physical, not just one or the other. So I think that what is needed for all of you who chose pile number 1 is not only to release the things that are no longer serving you, but also to bring in spirit. Because I think a lot of you have been ignoring the spiritual side. So you're going to find a balance right now at this time if you do some type of practice that is going to help you bring that spirituality into your life in practical ways. All right, pile number 1, I'm going to shuffle the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck a couple times, and I just want to get a little clarity on this reading for you guys, a little advice for you. All right, and I'm just going to pull out 3 cards from this deck. The first card we have here is Realization. So I do believe that you've already come to this realization that this release of negativity is definitely necessary at this time. You may not have stepped into the new life quite yet, but I feel like you've definitely realized this on a mental level. But it's something you still need to step into in your day-to-day life. With the surrender to the divine, we got the boundaries card. So I feel like as you give yourself up to God or however you want to call it, the divine, you're going to be creating boundaries for yourself. You're going to be able to create almost this protective bubble around yourself that can keep you away from that negativity, keep you away from the negative thoughts and attitudes that you'd been having. And it not only that, but it's going to help you to create a strong boundary that you will be able to express. Okay? This is also, I noticed, a number 3, and this is a number 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So in numerology, this is all about you creating this. You're the one that creates this. So you have the realization, you're the one that's going to create the opportunity to step into a new world. You're also the one that's going to be able to create boundaries to keep the negative people, places, and things out of your life, while also letting yourself surrender to the divine within. And your last card says the void. All right, so as you move into a new way of being, it's going to feel lonely at times, okay? That's why we have the void here. I find it interesting that this is a dark moon card because it looks like it's a lunar eclipse here on this particular card, which is the energy that is definitely coming through in this reading. All right, so we got the void right under balance, spirituality, and practicality. Because, again, you need to create these boundaries for yourself, but it might also create a feeling of isolation. But that's okay, because you have a number 1 here. So, as you feel isolated from the outside world, even from your own spirit, because the light is just being shadowed right now with darkness, okay? So as you allow yourself the time and space to enter into this new paradigm, don't feel bad if you need rest. You need to recharge yourself. It's okay to not have the answers on day 1. But the more that you can surrender to the divine, the more that you can do that and let yourself have the time to heal with this void card. That's going to help you to balance spirituality and practicality so that you can move forward in a much better place than you started. All right, pile number 1, the full moon in Virgo and total lunar eclipse for you is all about releasing negative thoughts and attitudes, releasing negative people, negative things, and even negative places from your life. You've already realized it's time, but you have yet to step into that in your actual physical life. You are asked to surrender to the divine and create boundaries for yourself. Know when it's okay to say no. And, don't allow these negative thoughts to come in and ruin any progress that you've made for yourself. You're also being asked to let yourself have the rest that is necessary so that you can bring balance back into your life once again. This is about bringing spirituality and practicality together, and it is something that might take time because it's not something you've been practicing. It's not something you have been doing. So, again, you just have to allow yourself this time where you're not sure which way to go. But as you allow yourself this space, this time and space in the silence to be alone, to be in your own little bubble of boundaries, that's going to actually help you to understand how you're going to move forward with more balance in your life. All right, pile number 1, that was your reading. Now I'm just going to ask 3 questions to the pendulum for you. So take a moment now. You can pause the video if you would like and think of 3 questions. Question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3. Once you have your questions, then these have to be yes or no questions, and then I will go over the answers now. All right, so for question number 1, is the answer yes or no? Okay, so for question number 1, it's a possibility. You guys got possibility. That's a rare answer for me. All right, so let's go on to question number 2. So for question number 2, is the answer yes or no? Question number 2, the answer is yes. Thank you. And finally, for question number 3, is the answer yes or no? All right, question number 3, the answer is yes. And remember, this is a general reading, so You should only take the answers that resonate deeply with your spirit. You know deep down in your heart what the true answer is for you. And sometimes simply hearing an answer, even if it's not the one we wanted to hear, that's all we need to know to make a proper decision. All right, pile number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to click that like button if you're still here. And leave me a comment down below if this reading resonates. Thank you all so much for being here and spending your time with me. I love you. And now it's time to move on to pile number 2. Hello to all of you who picked pile number 2. We are going to go ahead and start with the pre-shuffled Moonology cards for you. And so the first one that came out for pile number 2 is Be Bold and Make the First Move. Wow, you guys, there's something you've been wanting to take action on. Now is the time. No more sitting around. Now is the time to take action on something if you chose pile number 2. The second card is Adjustments Are Required. So if this is something new for you that you're moving towards, just know that there may be some adjustments in your life that you need to make, adjustments in your thinking, in your perceptions, and even in your physical life. And finally, we have You're Very Close to Achieving Your Goal. You guys, I feel like there's, if you chose pile number 2, there is definitely something that you want to accomplish. But there's still a little work that needs to be done because there is some type of action that you have to take. You have to make some kind of move towards this goal. All right. And there may be some minor adjustments needed in order to reach the goal. But obviously, you are very close to achieving your goal. So it is possible that with this being a full moon reading as well as the total lunar eclipse coming up, the action that might need to be taken is a release of something that is no longer serving you, a release of some kind of emotion that's been holding you back, possibly fear, because this is asking you to be bold. I'm also thinking fear or insecurity needs to be released because you're very close to achieving your goal, okay? And the only reason you're being told this is because you might think that you're far away from it. But it's actually right there. You just have to step into it, so to speak. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to shuffle the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And we're just going to shuffle this a few times. And I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck as advice for you. Kind of a final message and advice for all of you who chose pile number 2. All right. The first card we have here is the masculine, and so interesting that it's lining up with Be Bold and Make the First Move. I mean, it's obvious. The masculine, you guys. The masculine energy is all about taking action. This is the aggressive energy rather than receptive. So, with this masculine card coming up right aligned with the Be Bold and Make the First Move, it is just confirmation that some kind of action on your part is needing to take place. And this action could have to do with some type of adjustment or whatever the case may be. But whenever you decide to finally take some kind of action, a bold action here, you just might get even closer to reaching the goal, whatever that goal may be for you. We have adjustments are required, and that is lining up with the fruition card. This is the harvest moon. I do feel like there are some changes in your life that you want to make, something that you want to release. There's just a little bit of adjusting that needs to take place. And with this card, it has like a mask over her eyes, but then this headdress is like all this fruit, and I see that as knowledge and freedom in thinking. I also see it as some hard work. Okay, so the adjustment that I believe is needed is that you feel like you should reach your goal with as little work as possible, but the thing that you need to really let go, the adjustment that needs to be made, is that work is bad for you. So, I'm sorry if that's coming out wrong, but there is this false thought or attitude here that I'm feeling with this card. It's this attitude that you want to reach your goal, but with as little effort as possible. Okay. I just feel like you do have the knowledge, you have the know-how. The adjustment that needs to be made is basically the adjustment that I feel needs to be made, again, is tied to this action. So I feel like you already have the knowledge you need and the perspective you need. The thing that's missing is that action. So yes, make a move. It's time to step forward into what it is you want to step into. You don't need to plan. Again, like I said in my community post yesterday, no more planning, no more thinking, no more dreaming. You already got that down. The adjustment that's needed is action. And finally, with you're very close to achieving your goal, that's lining up with the self-love card. You guys, self-love is literally the most important thing in anything that you're trying to accomplish, right? So, it is not self-love to sit around when you know that just a few actions or a few things to do would help you to reach your goal. All right, so it's going to be an act of self-love for you to take the action steps that you know are necessary, even if you're feeling insecure. Now, I do believe that as you connect more with the energy of self-love, so giving yourself grace, giving yourself mercy, the same kind of forgiveness that you give to other people, you can now give to yourself. All right, so I feel like forgiving yourself for something you've done is going to help you to reach your goal as well. That's going to be a big part of it. Because this is the number 6, and this is also the number 6. Because 4 plus 2 is 6. All right, so I feel like taking actions in the right direction is definitely going to be a form of self-love, okay? But I feel like simply giving yourself the same level of forgiveness that you would extend to anyone else in your life is going to be huge for you right now. You know, I just feel like self-love in whatever form is necessary for you is literally going to help you unlock the potential to reach your goal. It's not only taking action, that action is loving yourself. Loving yourself enough to just do it. Loving yourself enough to realize you will love yourself more once this is done, if that makes sense. All right, so if you chose pile number 2, it's all about, it's time to take action on something. The adjustment that's required is really to stop thinking and dreaming and start doing. And finally, you will come even closer to reaching your goal if you extend self-love to yourself in some way. And that's going to help you get over the hump, and it's going to help you to get even closer to your actual goal. All right, file number 2. Now we're going to ask the pendulum 3 questions. So you can pause the video now and come up with 3 yes or no questions. And we'll get the answers now using the pendulum. Remember, this is a general tarot reading and a general pendulum answer. So if you get the answer that does not feel like it's aligned with your spirit, then that was not the answer meant for you. Sometimes simply hearing the answer to our question helps us to understand that we already knew the answer all along. Okay, you guys, so get ready with question number 1. Okay, so is question number 1 the answer yes or no? All right. Question number 1, the answer is no. Okay, thank you. And for question number 2, is the answer yes or no? You're being asked to check again on that one. So keep thinking about that. Keep reflecting. Thank you. And for question number 3, is the answer yes or no? Question number 3, the answer is yes. All right, pile number 2. That wraps up your reading for the full moon in Virgo and total lunar eclipse energies. So it's just time to take action. Stop thinking, start doing, and give yourself the same love that you extend to others, because you're almost there. Thank you guys so much for being here, and don't forget to click that like button if you're still here, and leave me a comment down below if this reading resonates with you. All right, thank you so much for being here, spending your time with me. I love you. And now it's time to move on to pile number 3. Hello to all of you who chose pile number 3. So we're just going to get started with the 3 pre-shuffled Moonology cards here. And so the first one you got, pile number 3, is the energy is gaining momentum. So definitely something in your life is growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger. The second card we have is to have faith in your dreams. And finally, the last one here is a time to give rather than take. And look, new moon in Virgo. Interesting. All right, you guys. All right, so there is something that you've been dreaming about, something that you want. Like, this could be a person, place, or thing. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something that you have been dreaming about, okay? And whatever that dream is, this energy is building, gaining momentum, right? So it's something that you really put a lot of focus on. It's something that you're literally just feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. It's just growing and growing. That's why it's gaining momentum. So whatever this thing you've been thinking about, you've been wanting, I feel like the energy is there. You just have to really bring it into manifestation. It's a time to give rather than take, though. With that card there, I feel like you're taking from yourself as you just sit around and daydream about something. You're actually going to be giving to yourself if you take action on this, because the energy is already ripe when it comes to the thought manifestation. It's just time to give yourself a different type of energy when it comes to the thing that you're trying to manifest. I hope that makes sense for you. So it's like you've been thinking about something so much, it's grown so big already as far as your thinking and your feelings. Now it's just time to change the energy on how you're approaching it. It's time to give rather than take. So give yourself time to actually move forward physically into these dreams that you've been having. Whatever that is, whatever that means for you. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and shuffle this Queen of the Moon Oracle a few times. I just want to get a little clarity and advice for all of you who chose pile number 3. All right. The first card here is New Moon Beginnings. So, I definitely think that the thing that needs to be released right now is simply just daydreaming. I feel like the daydream is this black and white, but the color, the technicolor, is what you're going to step into when you stop dreaming and start doing, okay? So that's what needs to be released, is just this black and white daydream that you've been having. It's time to put your thoughts into existence. And then we have the unexpected. So as you take action on these things that you want to create, I think that some things that you wouldn't even expect can grow and take place from that. Because this is asking you to have faith in your dreams. And that's lining up with the unexpected. So as you actually have faith in what it is that you're trying to create for yourself and take action steps with faith, that's going to lead to like growth and connections in unexpected ways. Things that you couldn't even imagine right now because it's unexpected. All right. So as you step into the energy of doing rather than just thinking, this is going to help you. But you're going to see things happen in ways that you never even dreamed of in, your black and white. You're going to see things so differently and more vividly once you start taking the action. And a time to give rather than take lines up with the abundance card. That makes total and absolute sense to me, because as you actually take the seeds that you've planted in your mind and start cultivating them, that's how you're going to create this harvest for yourself. All right. Again, time to give rather than take. When you have abundance, it's giving. When you have a harvest, you give it. Okay. If you don't have abundance, that's when you're taking. So that's what I mean by, I feel like it's a time to do rather than just to think about it. All right. So as you start taking action steps toward this dream that you have, this goal or dream that has been gaining so much energy and momentum in your mental life, bring it into the physical. This is literally asking you to step into a new beginning with your dream, because it's going to help you to grow in unexpected ways and lead you towards that sense of abundance. It's going to make you feel like the work you put in, the things that you do in life matter. And it matters to like a multitude of things, of people, of beings. All right, you guys, I think that's pretty much your reading. I mean, it was pretty cut and dry. It's time to stop dreaming and start doing. It's basically the same as the community post I just put out yesterday. And so now we're going to ask the pendulum 3 questions. So you can pause the video now and think of 3 questions. Question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3. And when you're ready, you can play the video and get a yes or no answer for each of the questions. And as usual, I like to point out that this is a general reading. So even if the yes or no answer does not resonate with you, simply hearing a yes or no as an answer to your question should help you to align with your intuition so that you will know the answer that's right for you. All right, so let's go. For question number 1, is the answer yes or no? All right, y'all. So for question number 1, the answer is yes. Thank you. All right. And for question number 2, is the answer yes or no? The answer for question number 2 is no. Thank you. And finally, for question number 3, is the answer yes or no? For question number 3, the answer again is yes. All right, pile number 3. That wraps up our reading for today. So, of course, if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and leave me a comment down below. letting me know if this reading resonates with you. Thank you guys so much for being here and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.